So everybody has probably been touched by someone who's overdosed. Multiple people on my phone who have passed away due to the nasty disease of addiction. I keep getting these random calls and texts that are driving people to detox. I'm happy that I get one text that says, "Thank you so much for what you said in that video. I'm 16 days clean." It's amazing to me. Why? Because I was that person. I've been there. What are we doing to not have our kids go out and grab a bag of weed, cocaine that's laced with fentanyl? One of the most controversial places or things or subjects is a supervised consumption site or a safe consumption site. A lot of people do methadone to get off of opiates, which in reality, methadone is the worst of the worst of the worst of the worst. I've seen people withdraw from methadone for a year or more. Methadone gets into your bones. There was methadone clinics where you would show up and you would go get your sip of methadone. I tried a methadone clinic years ago when I was trying to get clean. I was always trying to get clean. These sites, otherwise known as supervised injection sites or overdose prevention centers, they're basically where people can go in, they can get fresh, clean tools, clean water, fresh needles. They can make sure that they're not spreading diseases, getting diseases, and if they happen to overdose, you're right there with someone who has Narcan ready to blast right up into your nose. There's pros and cons to all of this. Comment here if you guys know more about this than most people. We did the Kensington video where xylazine and fentanyl are eating people alive. Videos on drugs, restaurant industry. The fact is that the epidemic grew so fast. Big Pharma sent every sales rep on earth to every doctor in America saying that OxyContin was the greatest thing since sliced bread and nobody's ever gonna withdraw from any of it. Liars, 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 liars. The wake of that destruction is millions of people hooked on opiates. When you're hooked on an opiate, you stop getting high after a little while and you're just not trying to be sick anymore. Now your body operates in a different way. Now your body operates only if there's opiates attached to the receptors. So you start to do all this crazy stuff to go get your high. I knew someone addicted to overdosing. He died, and if he was in a safe injection site or something like that, he would have lived that time. So the arguments for safe places to use drugs, they save lives. No one dies from an overdose inside of one. 0 overdoses have occurred at these sites worldwide. 0 overdoses. And that means that let's just take all of those people using out of those buildings. I guarantee you there's a whole bunch of those people that are dead at this point. So is that a good thing? Yeah, sure. Staff are trained to administer Narcan, reduces public use and dirty needles. In Hartford, Connecticut, where I live, there was a needle exchange. This van would randomly show up and you could take all your crap needles and go get new, fresh needles. Listen, if you could take addiction out of somebody in the snap of a finger, most people would probably ask for it to disappear. I know I would have. It doesn't work that way though. You got to go away for 7, 8, 10, 30, 45, 60, 90 days, whatever. That abruptly changes your life. Having clean needles at least would help the spread of hepatitis, any type of blood transferring disease. If you go to Philly or any of these major cities right now where people are like congregating and using drugs, if you look at the ground, it's like littered with orange caps and needle, like you can just see they're just used and chucked. Because you can use a needle X amount of times before it's so dull, it's like you're stabbing yourself with a pencil. Again, guys, very raw stuff because our best friends, your child, that 11-year-old is about to get the talk because he's about to be going into middle school. And I'm going to tell him, listen, man, I wasn't told this going into 6th grade. Just don't do it, man. Talk to your kids a lot earlier than you think you should. A pathway to recovery. So one good thing about a Skid Row, if you're an outreach program or if you're a rehab program or you want to donate, everybody's right there. When you have these injection sites, you can focus on the people that are in there. Hey, We've got a bed open here. Let's get you to it. Let's get you detoxed. Let's get you going in life. Let's get out of this freaking rat race. Get this poison out of your veins. You're going to go suffer for a week or 2 or 3. Then you're home free. You're going to have to do the work at that point. Because what most people don't understand is that detox is the easiest part of all of it. Most people think detox is the hardest part. Nobody. In reality, detox is the easiest part. Anybody can go lay in a bed all day, eat food all day, and sleep and chill and do whatever for 7 days. Kicking drugs sucks, but it's the easiest part. Because after that, you've got to maintain. And how do you maintain? It's a lot of hard work. And I've been struggling lately. I had so much inner rage inside of me. I just did 100 push-ups. Mike, 10 years ago, would be getting loaded. And when you're getting loaded in a house with no one around you and you overdose, you're dead. Go to a safe injection site and overdose. Not one person has ever died from one of these places based off this information, which to me is absolutely amazing. Saves taxpayers money, less ER trips, just less resources. When you overdose, you're taking fire trucks, you're taking ambulances, you're taking hospital beds in the ER. It can lead to jail time. That's also taxpayers' money. Less law enforcement responses. You're not spreading the disease again. That's pretty big if you think about it. Hospital stuff's expensive. My daughter, who was just born and had to go to the NICU, took an ambulance ride. It was like $8,000. Thankfully, we have good insurance. It was $300 on our side. And I remember being the person going to the ER and doing stupid Nike stuff so that I could get a meal, so that I could get some quiet sleep. And I'm taking a bed from someone who probably needs it. It's just wasting resources with those sites that doesn't happen. Now, arguments against the safe places to use these drugs, perceived as enabling. It's going to happen anyways. You could perceive it that way, but in reality, it's just going to happen. Community pushback. People don't want them near schools, homes, or businesses. Totally understand that. Fear of increased crime or loitering in the surrounding areas. You're driving down the street. There's a line out the door. Ooh, what's that place? So that's where every drug dealer is. That's where every cop is. They need to be off the beaten path a little bit. Legal and political barriers. In many U.S. states, they're still illegal under federal law, violating the Controlled Substance Act. Only a few cities like New York have operating centers, and they face constant political heat. The people that had all the pushback, maybe in the beginning of this epidemic had something to fight for, but it's been so long at this point that something has to happen. Legislature, rule, nothing has worked. The only way you can change anything is by changing something. Get uncomfortable, make an uncomfortable change, and maybe things will start to turn. Why every day are people overdosing and dying? So if we look at the overdose rates from 2013 to now, if I were a parent and my kid was using, based off of the statistics about nobody overdosing and dying in one of these sites, I would probably lean towards sending my kid to one of them. 2013, there was 44,000. 2014, there's 47. 15, there's 52,000. 2016, there's 63,000. 70,000. Then it went back down to 67. The pandemic had a huge impact on overdoses, depression, and all that stuff. My girl sent me a reel where a 16-year-old kid is being carried by his best friend, and the dude drags him up to the chair that's on the front porch and just puts him in it. The kid's stiff as a board. People don't take this stuff seriously until it happens to them or someone close to them. I'm curious to know your take on these facilities. I'm curious to know what you would do if you needed to maybe bring someone there. So there's one in Australia, there's one in Colombia, there's been a bunch that have been closed. Narcan's everywhere now. My son, who's a freshman in high school, just got taught how to use Narcan. That's what I'm talking about. That would have never happened when I was in high school. If you're a drug addict and you use one, I want to talk to you. I want to see where we're at. Drug addicts are not terrible people. They just made a terrible choice and decision at some point, and they have never been able to recover from it because they loved it so much. They just wanted to keep doing it. And then withdrawal kicks in and you're done. You're done at that point. If you know someone, have them contact me. I want to know the process. Other people in the comments, Tell me what the pros and cons would be down by your favorite breakfast spot in the city you live in. A safe injection site was put in right across the street. Do you feel mixed emotions? Do you feel happy? Do you feel sad? Do you feel mad? They've always fascinated me and intrigued me, and I've actually always thought that they would probably do good. Like, subscribe. We're going to keep pumping it out. If the last couple weeks have been kind of back and forth every day to see my daughter, she's doing amazing. Those who have messaged me, God bless you. Hit me up. Thank you so much.